Recorded July 28th, 2025. Good afternoon, Brody. How are you doing?
I am doing not too shabby for a Monday. Life's good. Lots of rain affecting my golf a little bit, but hopefully that goes away and we can get back to some summer. How are you doing, Edward?
I am doing well. It's hot here in the States. And yeah, I'll be charitable. That was too easy. Rain's affecting your golf game. Okay.
When it's downpouring for 2 weeks, you don't really want to go out.
Yeah, okay. I'm one to talk. My game is garbage.
Golf's just hard. We shouldn't be so hard on ourselves for such a hard sport. But it's just like I will go out and do anything outside. But when you have to, I've actually broken an iron before by getting turf in wet conditions, right? It just snapped the shaft because you're digging into the really hard ground as opposed to just nice little beaver tails. So it just sucks going when everything's super moist because you could hurt your wrist, you could hurt your equipment. So it doesn't make it fun. And then if there's standing water everywhere, it's okay, well, I'll just come back when it's dry.
Oh my God, how much torque are you generating when you could just snap the shaft like that? You go out turning at the hip and you do that. I was going to get back into it this year, man. And then I had this back injury in March, man. And why as well? Don't tempt fate, right? It's feeling well doesn't mean I am well. But I'm going to get back, man. When I golfed, this is going to sound like an oxymoron. When I seriously didn't take it too seriously, I was good. I was a legitimate card sign 12 handicap.
Nice.
Yeah. And I would play on cheap courses, cheap clubs. I messed around and got picked up for a company event as the Libby Mulligan. They thought they picked the worst out of the four. Everybody had to pick up a Lily or handicap. And it was me. And they were like, "Hey man, can you play?" I'm like, not really. I went out there and shot par on the course, and they were like, "Oh my God, this guy just hustled us!" Right? It was an easy
sandbagger.
It was a par four course. It was a company function, and then all of a sudden you meet a new realm of golf people. Right now, everybody wants to give you tips and this. Oh God, you playing with these cheap clubs? You need these clubs. You need these irons. And then I started smelling myself and thinking I was good. And then I took it too seriously. And it wasn't fun anymore.
Oh yeah, totally.
I would show up and everybody well, it sounds like you got a lot of range time. I'm like, you know what? Balls, man. I'll say, dude, I rarely buy new balls, man. I always buy used balls. And sometimes I can clean them up, but I'm not spending money on that. God, oh my God, you can't play those balls. The temperament and the blah, blah, blah. And they've done this. And you don't know. I was like, it ain't that serious.
Yeah.
And then
I'm not afraid to go find some used balls in the woods. I actually when I find a bunch, I'll throw them in the dishwasher. And then they're clean. Yeah. And then I got them in my bag. It's all good.
Yeah, we do that. And then I think the straw that broke the camel back, and we'll get into the show, is for my 45th birthday, one of the 40s birthday, my wife bought me a set of ping.
Yeah.
And then I went and got them to a golf pro, had them fitted, cut, reshafted for my height. I'm not a tall guy. I'm 5'7", 5'8", maybe 5'7". And they great.
Nice.
Had some good woods. The irons I would not change out. I kept the ping irons, but my old bunch of no-name off-brand irons were my favorites, man. I can play with the woods and the other clubs, but my putter I've been having is probably ancient. I don't know. Nicholson probably had it in his bag. How old the thing is and everything. But I do have some signed clubs. I have a signed Sergio Garcia club.
Really?
I met him down at the Chevron, and I used a couple of Houstonia in Houston, and I have a Speed signed club, and I have one more club. So I was working on the resort where they were, and one of them I got Sergio to sign mine because he was just coming out of the hotel room next to me, and I saw him, and I had my clubs, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll sign it." The other two I won in a raffle.
Nice.
I just held on to them, right?
Yeah, why not?
You can't use them. They're signed on the hit. I mean,
yeah, exactly. You gotta go put them on a wall or something like that.
And I think I'm gonna give them to somebody as a gift, a birthday gift or something. Somebody can appreciate the game anymore, man. But hey, man, it's Monday. We always ask this stuff on Mondays. What did you do this week? Well, I don't remember because the weekend I was drinking Dreamwater's beer, and I don't remember what happened after that. But I'll ask you, anything good technical from last week that you could talk about this week?
technical from last week. I'm kind of in a transition phase where I'm closing down a project and starting up on a new project.
Mhm.
I'll be playing in the security operations space again, which I love, and it's been a while since I've consulted in that area because it's been a lot of Azure infrastructure and data more recently over the last year. So back to Sentinel, back to XDR, and that's fun.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to. But it's funny because you leave something for like a year, and you can't be. The joke is right, Edward. You can't be level 400 at everything. So you got to like prioritize your learning and your focus for like what's in front of you and what you're working on. And so now it's like, okay, let's go like see what's changed and get a refresher, and it's just it's interesting. It's interesting that you can like there's a lot of things off the cuff that you remember and you can talk about on a presentation with the customer, but then if it's like very recent things, you have to kind of be ready for those questions as best you can, or have your favorite AI assistant on the side helping you out. So it's been nice. Yeah, it's been nice.
I think the disadvantage that we have is that you're back. The prodigal son returns home. Welcome back to my world. I'm fully into the XDR and Sentinel. Not like I really left. I was still doing something that was adjacent to it, but you're right. It's hard to. It's not hard to stay up to date of a sort within reason. What I find hard is staying in front of a customer who has the same tools that you have.
Mm-hmm.
They believe that you're at Microsoft every time you have a call with them. If you're not solving an immediate problem, you need to have some information that they deem warrants you being a subject matter expert, right? Which is now, it's just basic access now, right? And a lot of stuff you can't talk about if it's embargoed. Other things you can't talk about if it's if it's they're not in a private preview and such, and just a lot of stuff. I think the hardest part is standing in front of the customer who are very much as well tooled as you are in finding information, i.e. AI. All right. And so what I'm retooling myself is being able to be a better solution troubleshooter, meaning customers deploy a solution, there's a bug in it, it's not working the way it used to be, or supposed to, and being able to come look at stuff like, oh, your configuration is here, or you consider this here, and more consultative. Just trying to explain how stuff works, customers know these days. You go to your AI model of choice and say, give me the latest on Sentinel or this or that, and it'll summarize it for them.
Right.
Or, customers are cheating by create me a list of questions to ask Brody Casale, the consultant from Microsoft, when he shows up about this particular Sentinel feature set. And now they're putting in, AI stomp the chump, but it's good. I didn't do anything super technical. I am going to tackle some deeper technology challenges. So once again, even though it's in the cloud, I'm blasting my lab to pieces to sort of start over because it's a mishmash of stuff. I got some Sentinel rules that date almost back to when I first started 5 years ago. They're still in my lab. I need to clean my lab up. I thought about telling the truth, man. Just stop removing all the data connectors, leaving the analytical rules of a sort, or remove them, and just redeploying Sentinel in my lab. Net new.
Do it. Honestly, that's my vote. I mean, it's your call in the end, but you come back to something that's so stale, just blow it up and rebuild it.
Yeah. And so I think I may do that because if you remove all the data connectors, it doesn't necessarily remove the analytic rules. And I think I'm gonna remove all the PowerShell, remove all the analytic rules, delete follow the decommissioning process, right? And delete the workspace, all that, because it's a lab and you can recreate all the artifacts of such and do that. That's going to be probably we're August, almost late summer, early fall project, and go with that. When is summer over? July or something?
It's over when I can't go outside in shorts anymore. That's all I care about.
Then it's never over in Georgia. I've barbecued in November at Thanksgiving outside in shorts.
Yeah, see, that's good. Yeah, I love that.
I've gone for a run in a tank in December,
Yeah.
and some years you freeze to death. There you go.
That's fine.
But I didn't do too much. I did work on some. I'm working on some MDI stuff. I saw some minor announcements on that. There are a bunch of private preview stuff if you're part of the Customer Connection program, or what we did a show on the Microsoft Customer Connection program around security releases of the XDR stack, Sentinel stack, and some other stuff. I think it's public knowledge that Microsoft has a Sentinel Lake. I think it's called Sentinel Lake, Data Lake. There were some public announcements that seemed to be rescinded about community facing. I guess they're going to go back and rebrand those of a sort. Hard part about that, when you get this fledgling technology, it's hard to lab up and test, because now you're starting to see huge data requirements just to set up the infrastructure, right? I got to double down on it. I need to understand it. It's part of my role responsibilities, and a few other things. I'm going to go back and get the next. Look at that. I'm going to go. The encounter with barbecue in February, pretty much. I'm going to go back and get the next level of my Cribble certification. But I got the little administrative one. Basically, you follow the course to do this. I'm going to go back and seriously do that. And I guess in the series of transparency here, I took a SANS exam last week that I forgot about that I had on Friday. I did not pass. I scored a 56. Passing score was 71. It was the cloud detection and forensics logging, SEC 541. I didn't study it all. I just did not have the cycles, the books, the labs. I aced the Microsoft piece of it, but the AWS piece, I couldn't guess my way out of it. Stuff around Microsoft technologies and logging and that.
Is it multiple choice?
It is. But if you ever take a SANS exam, there is no you can eliminate two. They're all a period.
Pleasure yet.
It's the right answer between something else. I'm generally bummed when I don't pass. Notice I said I didn't fail. I don't use that word. If you get to try again and you're willing to try again, you never fail. I just didn't pass.
Hey man, 56 with zero work is pretty good, I think.
It was the 541, SEC 541. I didn't put enough effort in it. There was a lackadaisical amount of effort put in. Once I saw what the outline was, I'm like, oh man, it's Microsoft stuff I do just in my sleep. The AWS stuff was challenging to me. Just make sure I'm not violating any test codes. No, it's in the syllabus what they test on. Now, had they had GCP on there, it'd have been a different question, because my second cloud is GCP. Yeah, I don't know. I know GCP and AWS. I don't know AWS. So I mean, in Azure, I guess I need to learn some AWS. I have 30 days to decide whether I want to back and retest. I told the missus that I'll wait till August 4th to see if I have the time, consider I'm in a new role, to give it an honest effort in studying. I'm not sure yet. I'm not going to commit. We'll see. But
fair.
It is a very fair test. It is a very practical test. Do you know these things? And if you do know these things, then you will pass. But you know, it was good. So other than that, like I said, I wasn't even bummed about it, to tell the truth. I came out still like I know what I know, right?
Yeah.
What else? Wrote some papers. Worked on my Substack stack thing and chilled out this weekend. That's it. I can't lie. There was nothing. I started cleaning up my data center and turning down machines and formatting machines that I could, put Windows 11 on them, and donated them to charity for those who needed a machine, like in libraries and stuff, reducing my my technology footprint. And I did that. Redoing my office in the back, got all that cleaned up, that stuff done over there, man. So that's it. So what do you got coming up this week?
This week, I am working on the assessments like I told you about. I've got a few projects going and a few that are ending. I just mentioned that. I've got probably pick up a little bit of training that comes with the new fiscal. And I'm just backdated on some general like catching up on security events and news that have happened over, over the summer here. Just general stuff. So nothing crazy to share. I dropped a link in the chat here about it's like a high level security for AI assessment that I saw was announced and available for customers. The link's on the screen: security-for-ai-assessment.microsoft.com. Mouthful. And it's interesting. You basically could point a customer there, and they could talk about their overall plans for agentic AI or AI in general. And, what their strategies are, and if they've thought about compliance, and if they've yada yada. And it spits out a report that kind of shows their maturity level, and it also gives them like a breakdown of some MS Learn articles about how they can learn more about the specific items. And then at Microsoft, you would encourage a customer to go and run that and then send the output to you, so that you've got a bit of more knowledge on where they think they're at, or at least where the individual that you're working with thinks they're at. And that can lead to, hey, can we assist you with this? Can we assist you with that? Where do you need help? So just something I found. But that's it for me.
Yeah, I just grabbed a link to take a look at it. Crazy part about it, man, if you really think about it, you can ask AI to write an assessment to assess its compliance and regulatory stuff, right? I can tell you what, the landing page looks really cool. I've seen this. On training, yeah, I saw this today, and so the image that's actually on the screen, where it has the AI dimensions: prepare, discover, protect, around generative AI. It wasn't this site, but I saw this in something, so really cool. I give it a look at and do that. So we, I guess today had a last minute commitment that was critical that couldn't make it, but it's sort of fortuitous because we're doing some things, and I'd like to announce to the show today that we are with the changing landscape of what security news is being released, tools, vulnerabilities, that SharePoint thing that happened last week, being out there, AI stuff, news. You can't really separate artificial intelligence progress from security, because that's just another vector. Myself and Rod and Brody and Frank, we have decided, hence my tagline: relax, recharge, refresh, reinvent, reboot. We are going to put the show on a 2-month hiatus. We are going to take the month of August and September off to do a few things. We're going to go and we're going to redo our back-end production operations, clean up some stuff, do some updates and some upgrades. We're actually going to go back and change the format of the show. That's going to be the duration and the frequency of the show, as well as the day that the show does. I can tell you that we're going to move away from Monday.
Thank God.
We're going to move to a day that's more advantageous. You know what I meant to say. Being able to to be able to present news without having to try to remember it over the weekend. So you can say that we're getting away from Monday. We're going to change the format of the show a little bit more. We're really going to try to stay in line to what Microsoft has deemed as technical intensity, so that we're really going to get into bringing on topics and our guests to really get technical, right? We're still going to have our theme months, where we're going to have Women in Cyber in February. We're going to move Partner Month back to April. We're going to move up some stuff like Certification Month and careers up into earlier in the year. And that way, as we get toward the back end of the year, toward November, December, when we're having natural attrition because of schedule, vacation, holiday, we have put out at least 10 months of quality shows. And quite frankly, man, I've been doing this for 5 years. You're doing it for what, 2.5, 3?
Most of the time that I've been at Microsoft, which is like close to 4+ years.
So you've been here almost. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry for
Yeah.
short.
I don't think the show was like a year old when you guys had me on as a
Yeah.
guest, and then we went from there. It just keeps flying by every year, man.
Yeah, and so we're gonna, and I think it's time. Everybody's taking a little bit of a break. I definitely need to recharge. There, with the major shakeup and with role reassignment, new job for me, different responsibilities for you. Rod is underwater with stuff. Frank is around, but it's not fair for that. And then we also want to put in some new formats around. We go around, having guest co-hosts to make that a more, non-random thing. And we're also going to entertain, different personas of guests, right? We will always be a Microsoft security focused show, but in reality, you have to be a little bit more. We're going to talk about security all up, and then how Microsoft leverages against those particular things, right? And we're going to do that. We're not going away, so don't think this is a precursor for us ending the show. We're just going to take a little bit off, get our energy back, get our feet back up under us, so all of us can be back on. And then we're going to be back in October. So if we'll post it on the podcast show. One other thing I want to do during this time, you may see some activity that we want to really go back and clean up and revisit how we were utilizing Discord. I think that was one of our resources that we sort of let lag a little bit. That we really want to be active in that also, and that way we give everyone a complete show, and they're going to bring some surprises too, some side projects that we were working on. We may try to incorporate into the show also. I'd like to thank everybody, and like I said, I don't want this to sound like it's the going away. We just need to take a little time off to go do this. And Rod goes, Discord, who? Yeah, Rod, go mind the Discord channel. And we'll be back, and we're going to be super recharged, super focused. I think we're chasing a little bit. It's so far ahead of us that now I get the cadence of what is being announced, what is happening. The business aspect of security now is taking their focus. And so I think it's time for us to get back into the industry, both feet, understand what our customers, our peers, our constituents are doing, and then come back and be able to provide everyone with a deeper and deeper but still wide show. I want to thank everybody for the patience they're going to give us until we come back. We'll make a big old grand announcement when we come back and do all these things. In the meantime, if you happen to see us at a show, Black Hat, DEF CON, RSA, Unite, B-Sides, any of these AI summits, come up and speak to us. We might give you something. You never know. It could be a hug, could be a beer, could be a stomach punch. You never know, right? You can do that. Could be a golf tip. You never do it. So
yeah, I need more of those.
I need more golf tips.
No.
So everyone, have a great day. Pass the word for those who may say, hey, what happened to the show? We'll be back. I think I don't know what the first Monday in October is, but somewhere around there. In the meantime, don't shy away from the podcast website. We will be posting blogs of a sort and giving updates and maybe a tidbit or two. And definitely join our Discord. We really need to give some more attention to Discord. There's a lot of activity there, and we'll come back with it. So with that being said, everyone, I'd like to say thanks, everyone. Thank you for your patience. Rod Disney. Thank you guys for your patience, and we'll look forward for the continued support. And then if you see us around, don't hesitate to speak. And if you need something from us, ping us on the podcast. We're here to answer questions and things on that line. With that being said, we'll do it.
Enjoy summer.
Enjoy your summer. I need to go see if I'm going to retake that dumb test. We'll see.
No, just go golfing. Screw the test.
See? Enable
summer.
Yeah.